Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Despite this agreement being reached on Wednesday, today is Sunday, and Pastor Coates is not yet out of jail. It was first anticipated that he would go before a judge on Friday and then be released, but he has spent yet another weekend in a maximum security facility, but will likely go before a judge on Monday morning. Sheila Gunn Reid for Rebel News, and I'm here outside of GraceLife Church west of Edmonton, Alberta. Now, this is the church of Pastor James Coates, who remains this Sunday in provincial custody for holding religious services that did not adhere to the provincial health order that required churches to limit their congregation to 15% of fire code capacity and to also force congregants to wear masks and enforce social distancing. Now, Coates turned himself in February 16th. On a criminal charge of breaching an undertaking that I should note he did not sign after he was arrested in his office February 7th before being quickly released. Now, that undertaking would be, of course, to comply with the original public health order. That inability to comply with the public health order that Coates says breaches his right to practice his faith is the reason that Coates remains behind bars, as he is unable to agree to bail conditions that would require him to follow the public health order. It's very complicated, but really it comes down to the fact that Coates is not going to limit his congregation, no matter what. Now, we have good news and bad news this week. On Wednesday, lawyers for Pastor Coates at the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms announced that they had reached an agreement with the Crown to resolve the criminal charge of failure to comply with that undertaking against Pastor Coates with just a $100 fine. And one of the two public health charges would also be tossed, with the second one proceeding to trial in May. So this is good news, because if that agreement had not been reached, Pastor Coates would have languished in a maximum security jail until his trial in May. The bad news is, of course, that despite this agreement being reached on Wednesday, today is Sunday, and Pastor Coates is not yet out of jail. It was first anticipated that he would go before a judge on Friday and then be released, but he has spent yet another weekend in a maximum security facility, but will likely go before a judge on Monday morning. But what I can tell you is that things, again, here at GraceLife, remain completely normal. The police were not parked at the end of the road the way they normally are. They did a couple of brief drive-bys, but that was it. And I did not notice any presence of Alberta Health Services inspectors here. That's different. That's a big change from other weeks. Again, the mainstream media continues to lose interest in this story as their bloodlust for seeing more Christians locked up or ticketed remains unsatiated. Just two print journalists were across the road again today, off church property, the way they are normally kept. They were wearing masks in the ditch, and they don't seem to like their jobs very much. They claimed harassment of some kind. These mainstream media journalists, they're very, very sensitive. Like I said, extreme normalcy continues here. Kids are playing outside in the mud and ruining their church clothes. There are adults and young people inside, smiling, talking, having a coffee, embracing and sharing in Christian fellowship. This is the way it's supposed to be. This isn't weird what's happening here. Wearing masks, not visiting your elderly, standing 6 feet apart from people and treating your neighbors like they have Ebola. That's the weird way to behave. And as it's been proven time and time again throughout church history, Christianity thrives in persecution. And again, so today the church was at total capacity, exceeding 600 people, with associate Jake Spenst at the pulpit. For Rebel News here at GraceLife Church west of Edmonton, Alberta, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. Even though a deal was struck with the Crown on Wednesday for the release of Pastor Coates, he is still behind bars this Sunday. If you'd like to help us send a message to the provincial government that there is still religious freedom in this province, pandemic or not, please sign our petition at freepastorjames.com.